Yes, g'day Tiger fans and welcome to Richmond's live weekly podcast Talking Tigers. Can you believe that we are nearly at the end of another season? The finish line is very close after the game against the Swans this week in Sydney. On the show this week, all the regular stuff returns. JB is back from his sick bed. We are glad that he's all right. We thank Manfred Mann for stepping in for him last week. Talking of Manfred Mann, he will come in and talk to us about the exciting finish to the VFL season and his own putrid form in the Legends Cup on Saturday. It had to be seen to be believed, old Manfred out there on the weekend. Gents, welcome, and JB in particular, good to have you back, mate. Are you feeling better?
No, good to be back.
How's the concussion, mate?
Yeah, look, it was a very heavy head knock. Had to get through, tick the boxes, the tests that everyone talks about.
Of course, those that mightn't have heard the show last week, the reason that you weren't in was because you actually nailed your Yellow and Black Book special for the first time all year.
Yep.
And you fell over in just in bewilderment and excitement, hit your head, and you've been...
It was unbelievable, Like Sammy Lloyd has a lot to, explain really for hitting the nail on the head. But no, look, I was a bit ill there, so I do thank Manfred for coming in last week and filling in, and he's got a real knack for it. So I think,
he's got the right knack.
Looking towards 2017,
he had a real knack with his yellow and blacker, which we'll have a look at later on.
I think. Well, I'm going to have to read it.
What he didn't have a knack for was playing footy.
I know.
Did he?
I know, he was putrid.
No, and I think
we will talk to him about it.
No, we will. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
mate, that song, Grimus.
Oh well, magnificent song by Elton John, of course, as a tribute to our Daniel Rioli, our first rising star for 2016, which is great and thoroughly deserved too.
Yeah, he was outstanding.
He was a clear standout, I reckon, for us.
Just his energy and enthusiasm and tackling pressure.
Skill level too.
It really stood out.
Yeah, it did. I think he's been, exceptional, really, in a side that's obviously struggled, and struggled to get the ball inside 50. I was looking at some stats the other day comparing with Cyril and Cyril's first year, and obviously
how does
Cyril
that compare?
Well, Cyril was a premiership player. We all know that. But at the same time, same number of games, I think he kicked like 2 goals less than Cyril, same number of games.
Is that right?
And they had a fair few more inside 50s.
So you're telling me he's going to end up as good as Cyril? Gee, I hope you're right.
I think he's going to be a very good player.
He is.
I think he's going to be a very, very good player.
If you bring that energy and enthusiasm and tackle pressure to games, then once he gets more experience,
well, he's ranked 9th amongst rising stars, I think, for total goals. He's kicked 13, well, nearly a goal a game. Yeah. And I think he's ranked, 7th for goal assists or whatever. Yeah. So, and it's not just the raw numbers, it's just the way he goes about it, which you can see. Yeah,
and
it's good
in a game where we've probably been criticised for tackling intent and the like. What he did against Holmes, for instance, someone he's given so much weight and height against to go tackle him like that and find space as well.
He's been doing that consistently throughout the season.
And I reckon it's good to see him play his best game in round 22, because often young guys can get really tired by this stage of the year, I think.
In a game that, let's be honest, was pretty ordinary to say the least.
Yeah, we won't go into the game too much. But gee, everyone that was there said it was ordinary.
Yeah, I think they might have taken cue from Manfred. I think they might have been inspired. What's the opposite of inspired?
Well, maybe they were watching.
I reckon they have. I reckon he's brought the whole...
Maybe he set the tone.
I think he set the tone for the whole day. Yeah, with his putridity.
But I don't know if we can put it up on the website, but his clanger error to cost the game...
You'll never see worse.
Was terrible.
You'll never see worse.
No, I don't think you will.
Yeah.
Hey, what a great effort it is this week. Alex Rance will play his 100... Geez, we've had some milestones recently.
Yeah, we have. Yep. So Rance qualifies, obviously, for life membership with Game 150. So what a player. What a player he's been.
Is he the best defender the club's ever had?
He's the best defender that I've seen in my half-century of watching us play.
So that means he's the best ever, just about, then?
He's just about the best ever.
Well, he'd have to be.
Well, I mean, Vic Thorpe is full-back in the team of the century. He was a pretty fair player, and now a club immortal too. So, but perhaps when we have our next team of the century, obviously, which I'm not sure we'll be around for at the end of this century.
Well, you were around for Vic Thorpe's games. How good was he, Vic Thorpe?
You really are testing me, aren't you? You think that's pretty funny?
I thought it was
an ageist gag.
I thought it was great.
Really? Good on you. Okay.
No, but he's a superstar.
He's a superstar. I saw Dick Clay play Dick Clay went from the wing to fullback and was a very good fullback. Darren Gasper, who you've spoken about, obviously a teammate of yours, was a very good player. I reckon Rance's got him covered. And
I think he has. Gas was a 2-time All-Australian. So is Rance, and I don't think he'd be giving anything away by saying I think he'll be an All-Australian again this year. That's 3 years in a row.
What are his attributes?
His attributes, first and foremost, his desperation his willingness to compete. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If every player brought that to the table, then you're going to win most games. So he brings that every week. His athleticism, his ability to read the play, intercept, win one-on-one contests. Some defenders just want to defend, but Rance defends. He wins the ball back. He wins it back in the air. He's great at ground level. He truly doesn't have many faults at all as a defender at the moment. And he isn't quite as big as some of the guys he plays on. Some of these forwards now are 200 centimetres. What's Rancey, about 194?
190. Oh, he might be 197.
No, he's not taller than me. I'm 196.
Oh, well, no, he's not.
I reckon he's 194.
Yeah, no, he might be.
So he's giving away a bit of height, but he just rarely lets his opponent take a mark on him. He's a great spoiler and, just a superstar.
Yeah, I think it's fitting that in his 150th game that he gets to go up and play on Buddy, which is...
He's had some great duels with him.
It's just been a privilege to go along and watch those two go
he's
head-to-head.
had Buddy's measure, hasn't he? Head-to-head, do you think?
Yeah, well, last time Buddy kicked 5 goals, but you could still mount a case that Alex, at least broke even with him in the game.
Oh, he did.
It's interesting. I've written a story about him for tomorrow on the website. Just looking back that... people, you tend to forget that he served a pretty fair apprenticeship here, Alex.
Yeah.
Because his entire first season at the club, he played VFL football.
Yeah.
And obviously made really good progress.
He was pretty raw early.
He was raw.
His athleticism was there, but
courage
was
always
raw.
there, wasn't it? Remember, like in his first... So in 2009 when he debuted, a few rounds in, he played against Brisbane here, and he collided with... Troy Selwood.
That's right.
And broke his cheekbone, I think. And but that just underlined his courage and everything, so
I forgot to mention, if you want to get involved, hashtag Talking Tigers or 9426 4423 when you give Tone a ring for the quiz. So the other thing I noticed in the paper today was the best 22 players under 22 years of age, Tone.
Yeah, the AFL does that every year. Well, they've done it for the last 4 or 5 years, and we've got one player in, and he thoroughly deserves to be in there, and that's Nick Floston, who's had a pretty good year, Nick, in trying circumstances, and had a few games, didn't he, where he went into the midfield and showed a bit, and hopefully you'd think that might be down the track. He might be able to get a more permanent position in the midfield as an inside mid. But he's been a really solid player for us, since coming here. Shows a lot of composure. He's tough. He uses the ball well. So he's got a lot of really good attributes too. So,
he has.
Yeah. And he signed up a new contract a few months ago. So it's good to have him on board.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, a couple of other contract signings last week too. Asprey. Did we mention that last week?
No, that came after.
That came
afterwards. Yeah. So Dave Asprey, 3-year deal.
Yeah, good.
And Oleg Markov had a 1-year extension to his initial 2-year deal, and which is great news.
Dave
obviously
deserves that. He's played well the second half of the year.
Yeah, he's played I think equal or the most games in a season now, which is he's got that continuity in his footy. If he has another big pre-season, and he can stick clear because he had a terrible injury run the last few years, so. He's going to be a very important player for us. And Oleg's really shown a bit, as we've spoken about on the show previously.
He should have got a Rising Star nom the other week.
Yeah, well, he should have, and I gave Shifter a bit of a spray about that, and it's obviously worked.
Daniel would have got a nomination anyway, but I think Shifter did listen to your rant last week.
That, geez, I better get a Richmond player in.
We should let our listeners know it was pretty humorous stuff after you ranted last week about Shifter.
It was a couple of weeks ago.
This is 100% correct.
I've walked out of the studio, and the first person I saw who was going out the door, right, into reception was Shifter Sheen.
What was he? Actually in the room.
He was in the room.
A wall separated.
I have been around this club now since 1993.
You've never seen him.
I've never seen Shifter Sheen here.
I know, it was
and
eerie.
You sprayed him, and he was actually here.
Yeah, no,
I reckon he could hear you too.
He probably did. Well, I hope he did.
That was funny.
Hey, I've got to thank you too.
Why? Are you going to thank me for something?
Well, I'm going to thank you for something, yeah.
What about us?
Well, in hindsight, and it's a wonderful thing, hindsight, as we know, and I was filthy. JB and I were filthy on you.
Yeah.
Right, for pulling the pin on us going to Rio because of your selfishness with your EJ Whitten Legends game and everything.
Which is next Friday night.
And your preparations and everything. As it's turned out, JB got crook anyway. Although he might have, because it could have been worse if he'd gone over there. He might have got the Zika virus if he'd gone over there.
Could have been with Ryan Lochte.
Yeah, exactly.
I reckon there's a fair chance we might have got caught up with Ryan Lochte.
No, there is a fair chance. But also...
I reckon you would have been found asleep on Copacabana Beach too, 3 days later.
In a G-banger. But I reckon, given the way that all due respect, given the way the Aussies performed over there, I'm actually glad we didn't.
No, it was a good decision.
It was not.
It wasn't.
It was frustrating. And well done to everyone for going, and particularly those that won goal. But
you know what summed it up?
I thought we could have gone a bit
The poor
better.
old Boomers yesterday. That summed it up, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was telling you off air earlier about the
the
Saturday that
quadrella.
I endured. That
JB got the quadrella.
This is the
Tell
worst
us about
Saturday
it.
of all
Yeah.
time.
It's one of the worst. Well, I woke up to get ready to go to the footy on Saturday, so I watched the Boomers play, and it wasn't very good.
Nutted by a point.
Got on the train, went one stop, then had to go bus replacement into
that's
Clifton
not
Hill,
good.
then another
Yeah,
train,
it's
got
not
to the
good.
game and watched
Yeah.
Richmond St Kilda, which also
No,
wasn't good.
no,
Got
not
home,
good. Yeah.
watched the Wallabies and New Zealand.
Wasn't good.
That was a shocker.
That's the trifecta.
So then I thought, maybe I'll go to bed. But then Liverpool were playing
You're a
Burnley,
Liverpool
so I
fan?
thought, you know,
Liverpool fan.
Got the
start to the
quadrella.
season,
Got
nah,
the quaddie.
absolute stinker. So
Oh, they don't go any worse than
That's
that.
not-
all I can say is thank goodness for Daniel Rioli.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
a shining
Sound
light.
like
But
it.
yeah, the Olympics were.
Nah,
Yeah, I
just-
mean, compared to what they were a few years ago, where we
Yeah.
would dominate, and
Why can't
Great
we,
Britain
why
were a
can't we go
laughing
right
stock.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's sort of turned full circle.
What's happened?
Don't know what's happened. Hopefully it'll turn.
Can you be part of an inquiry into this? There needs to be a Senate inquiry into this.
No, I
reckon.
couldn't care less.
We have a
to be
Senate
honest.
inquiry into everything else.
I just want Richmond to play finals.
Yeah, good
That's
point.
all I want.
Yeah, in the VFL.
Oh, we will too.
Hopefully
Well,
we
Manfred
could.
will tell us
Yes,
that.
he will. Well, of course, we're playing the Swans in the final round of the season, and so the quiz question's got a Swans
Yes.
or South Melbourne, as it
Yeah.
was, as they were known back in the day. I want the quiz question this way: name the Richmond player who joined South Melbourne in the late 1960s. Okay, played a few seasons at South, then came back to Tigerland and was a member of our 1973-74 back-to-back premiership sides. So he started at Richmond, went to South, came back to Richmond and played in our back-to-back premiership sides.
Who is it?
Ring up and
Ring up.
and
I don't
you
know
can
that.
ask.
I actually don't know that
That's
one.
a good
So
question.
Right? Yeah, good.
94264423. Give us a call. The player that went to South in the late 60s.
From
then-
Richmond, yep.
From Richmond, then returned and played in
Back to
two
back.
premierships.
Yep, good player.
Give us a ring.
Hopefully the early
Hall of Famer he is.
hopefully the early time slot doesn't throw them off.
It's throwing us.
Hey, we got an email today actually from
Yeah.
Trevor Wilson.
Yeah, I know Trevor.
The subject line: Holla.
Yeah.
Who's Trevor Wilson?
Hola.
He just wanted to drop us a note so that we can add Spain to the world map. I reckon. I was there last year.
I think we
This
may
year.
have had someone from Spain a few years ago, from
Really?
Barcelona.
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 But Trevor is over there at the moment doing an 800-kilometre walk called the Camino de Santiago.
Oh, that'd be
Very well from I
magnificent.
love your enunciation there too.
Yeah, thanks. 20 to 25 kilometres every day in the summertime. Got a
Geez,
few
that'd be
blisters,
nice,
but
wouldn't
going
it?
okay.
Yeah.
So we send a shout out to
yeah.
Trevor.
Yeah, well
Good
done,
work, Trevor. So
Good
Trevor's
on
walking 800 and something Ks. We add Spain to the list.
Spain went better than us today in the game.
Spain beat us. Got the
They
bronze.
got the bronze.
Disappointing.
No, but they went better overall on the tally. medal
Probably.
Tally. Oh dear, oh dear.
I think the Canary Islands went better than us.
How did they get out of the cage?
Oh, I don't know. Jeez, you're a pain.
Jokes are at the end, I think. Hashtag Talking Tigers on Twitter.
Yes.
Bit out of practice with this. Mickey G, he went to the Canberra game
Yeah.
wearing his TTT with his partner Ash.
That was about a month ago now.
Yeah, but they're coming along this week
are they?
to round 23 SCG. So
Yeah.
finish that off. Redhead he wants to talk about some of the comments around Jack, but I think that might be down on the run sheet a bit
yes,
later.
True. We want to get into this screen.
Yeah,
That's really annoying me.
Yeah, it's getting on your quince, really, isn't it?
Oh, it just is. Just anything. God.
You're in a feisty mood, aren't you?
Oh, I'm just had enough of a few things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Lots of love for Daniel Rioli using hashtag Talking Tigers. Bretley Wilford, Benny Cashin, Dave Millett all want to talk
want to
about
pump
how
him up.
good Daniel was
Daniel's cousin's going all right, too.
Willie.
in the sample.
In the sample for Glenelg. He's going all right.
Yep.
There's a player that's going all right in the VFL that
we'll talk
Manfred's
about
going
him
to talk
too.
about.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and one
exactly
more
what
tweet
Dale Kirby.
using hashtag Talking Tigers from Jess Benson saying she's got her
Jess.
flights booked for the EJ Whitten.
Oh, she's
Legend
coming over.
game.
Good.
Richo,
Yeah.
so
She's got to remind me next
for
week
the room.
so I can try and get her down into the rooms.
Yep.
Wispy was talking last night about...
Watto?
Yeah,
Who's
about-
he coaching?
He's coaching Victoria.
Well, he's not my coach.
You're not playing for Victoria.
No, I'm playing for the All-Stars.
He said he's got a few plans in place. He reckons
My coach is the big Roo, Marco Rusciuto.
Oh, okay. It will be very interesting. Oh, he's ruthless, Roo.
Roo doesn't... Yeah, he takes no prisoners.
Yeah.
So a big thanks to everyone who gets involved with us via email and using hashtag Talking Tigers as we get towards the end of the season. But we'll
thanks
have another show
everyone
next week.
This is our penultimate weekly show.
The reason
we'll go off season.
The reason we've gone a bit early today is because the All-Australian team is picked today.
Because of course it's all based around you, of course. So we have to sacrifice everything for you.
I have to get to the meeting.
As long as you get a couple in there, that's all we want.
Trying my hardest. I think you can lock Rance in. I don't think I'm giving anything away there. Hey, Greeners.
Yes,
I don't know a lot about what CEOs get paid.
Oh, I know.
But I know in the corporate world, if you're a CEO of a big bank, you get paid pretty handsomely, don't you?
$1 million, some of them.
Share options.
$1 million. Yeah, share options.
So, and you can have CEOs on different levels and scales. But I reckon if you're a CEO of a Australian rules football team in the AFL...
Oh, big money.
You get paid all right, wouldn't you?
Big money. And perks.
Yeah, just little trimmings here and there.
Yep.
It's like what Darren Crocker once said about Corey McKernan.
What did Darren Crocker
We had an
say?
opposition analysis meeting.
Yeah.
And Spud said to Croc, he said, Croc, tell us a bit about Corey McKernan. So we probably want to hear he's a good contested mark or, he kicks the ball well, good ruckman. All Croc said was, Corey McKernan enjoys the trimmings of being an AFL footballer. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that meant.
How did that help you counter him on the day?
I don't know how we were meant to beat him, just in knowing that he enjoys the trimmings. But anyway...
Did you take a bit of jar of caviar out with you or something?
But the chief, I reckon he enjoys the trimmings of being a CEO of an AFL team.
Yeah, he does.
But anyway, we play up in Sydney this week, obviously.
Yep.
Now, I get an email yesterday from the chief. When you're in the AFL 200 club, you're entitled to a couple of tickets to any game.
Is that right?
I mean, that's the reward, I guess, for playing 200 games of AFL.
How many did you play?
I played over that, so I've got... 282. I'm in the 200 club.
How many goals?
Don't do this, Tony. This is not about...
Do you get extra tickets for the number of goals you
No,
kick
you
as well?
don't.
Okay,
You
I'm
don't.
just wondering.
But each player gets 2 tickets. So Brendan's in the 200 club. So's his brother Michael Gale in the 200 club, and me. So he sent out an email wanting my 2 tickets for this week's game.
Why? Couldn't he afford to buy some?
Because he's got a mate up in Sydney who wants 6 tickets. So not only did he want his tickets, he wanted Michael's tickets and mine. Now, I've got a mate in Sydney that I'm giving my 2 tickets to. You know? I'd give them to him every year when Richmond played Sydney.
Sure, he's got some contacts up there.
He sent back an email a little bit annoyed that I couldn't give him the 2 tickets. So, Brendan...
Could have got Johnny Patton's tickets or something.
Didn't he play well on the weekend?
He was good,
Patton.
really
good.
6. I know. Yeah, best of field.
Oh, he was good, Johnny.
He dominated.
Oh, he's dominated all year. Hey, so, Brendan, get online.
Come on, Brendan.
Go to Ticketmaster. And order 2 tickets. You're a CEO, you can afford it.
Have you got the, what's the Ticketmaster website?
Well, it's www.
I think it's actually Ticketek.
Ticketek. That's all right.
.com.au.
Yep.
Richmond, Sydney, you can buy 2 tickets.
Basically what you're telling me is he is not getting yours.
No, he's not getting mine.
On principle.
No, I just think he can afford to pay for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Here. Gosh, I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss that sting. I need to have that sting played throughout summer. I'm in the process of moving and everything. I need to get the sting going.
Scones has downloaded it onto a CD for
magnificent.
I'm going to listen to it in my car.
Along with last Saturday's game on DVD.
Anyway, it's good to have the club news back in its purest form. Some sort of pseudo tidbit style that infiltrated last week's.
What are pseudo tidbits?
That sort of became like a list of things that.
To be honest, JB, he butchered it too.
Who?
You did last week.
You did it last week.
I couldn't have given
like an Ian Stewart medal.
I couldn't give a fat rat's about it, to be honest. But anyway,
that's fair. But this week
This is the highlight of JB's week.
It's got him up.
You're not far off.
He got out of his sick bed to do this. Don't know what's wrong with his
As we've mentioned already, this week we go to Sydney and there's an open training session this Friday at the SCG from 3 p.m. Players will be available for a short time following the session for autographs. as you mentioned last week, Green, as
Yes.
the pre-match function.
This is the one I got in a bit of trouble about. It was too long-winded.
Yeah, it's a bit long-winded. The Sydney Richmond Tigers official supporter group are holding a pre-game function at the Paddo RSL prior to round 20. Prior to this Saturday's game.
Yep.
Johnny Patton lives in Paddington.
Patton and Paddo.
Paddo. So yeah, on Oxford Street there, very quick walk to the ground. If you're in the city, just catch the 333 or the 380 bus along Oxford Street. You'll be right there.
Oh, you used to live up there, JB.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Where did you live up there?
Bondi then Coogee, but that's don't worry about that.
How much would he have been on?
Wobble.
Oh, geez, they must have paid you well there.
Nearly as much as the Chief. You would have bought your tickets.
I think there was a cost of living allowance involved.
He's got the cola. He was on the cola.
That's why he had to leave. When they sacked Kohler, he had to come down to Richmond.
I was the first one out. Anyway, Brendan Gale, Mark Choco Williams,
he's on the Pepsi,
Troy Chaplin and Flea will be there.
Oh, great. The Chief's there. The Chief's going to this. The Chief may not be going unless he can get the tickets.
No, he gets
they'll
free
find
ones.
a couple.
He gets free tickets.
So yeah, check out the game day information page on the Richmond website for details there. And finally, the Jack Dyer Medal night. Don't miss your chance to be part.
Richo for PM.
Still with us, Jackie.
Jackie boy.
You can get
you
can get content like that at the Jack Dyer Medal night. The Crown Palladium, Thursday, September 8 from 6:30 p.m. Tickets available via richmondfc.com.au/JDM. So that's the penultimate club.
Thanks. Now we're back to normal there with the club news. Hey, we've got a caller on the line now for the quiz, and we welcome Belinda from Blackburn South. How you going, Belinda?
Oh, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Do you want to win yourself a TTT? Tone's going to ask you the question.
No, she ran because she doesn't want to win one.
Oh, just be nice to Belinda.
Now, Belinda, I want you to name the Richmond player who joined South Melbourne in the late 1960s, then returned to Tigerland and played in the club's 73, 74 back-to-back premiership sides.
That would be Wayne Walsh.
Oh, well done, Belinda.
Well done, Belinda.
Well done. Very good player, Wayne Walsh, Hall of Famer. Yeah. Very good player.
Now, Belinda, all you got to do is email JB talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au and he will send you out a T-shirt. Thanks for listening.
Now, Belinda, did you watch Wayne Walsh play for the Tigers?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, good player, wasn't he?
I was hanging over the fence when I was a kid.
Yeah. Hey, Belinda, I'm going to ask you a question.
No, she's already answered it.
No, but this is just, I just want to know, you've seen probably a fair bit of Richmond if you used to go and watch Wayne play. Alex Rance, just about the best defender we've ever had?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think hands down.
Oh, beauty. Well, thanks for the call, Belinda.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Good on you, Belinda. That's excellent. He had a massive falling out with Norm Smith.
Wayne Walsh did.
When Norm Smith was coaching South, he coached them to the 1970 final series, their first final series for a while, and he had a massive falling out with him.
Oh, right.
And then we got him back.
Didn't know that. Have we got any medical room updates?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of bad news.
Oh, really?
In the injury list.
What's wrong? How?
Everyone's out for the season. You put me up to that. That's not good.
That's a zinger, that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, the three, Camden, McIntosh and Griffo have been ruled out, and Nathan Drummond is going to miss this week with a toe injury.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's
gone.
Season.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
I was born as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
What's getting on your quince?
Just this whole Jack Riewoldt stuff now, that he's about his body. They're going back to the old chestnut, his body language.
Well, this is absurd.
It is ridiculous. I'm telling you now, yes, in the past there were Jack maybe at times, and I was very guilty of it myself. Yeah. But I thought this year Jack had been pretty damn good with his.
Been very good, and maybe on Saturday he would have had probably every right on Saturday.
You know what happens
with frustration?
You know what happens when Richmond have another loss and it's getting towards you go back to the old chestnuts.
Of course, and the other one is those that had us finishing top 4 this year or playing finals are the most savage now about our list. Well, David King for a start. David King had us finishing top 4 this year, right? Yeah. But now all of a sudden we're no good, so we need to be rebuilding. Well, hang on, if you've picked us to finish top 4 at the start of the year, the list can't be that bad, even though we've had a bad season.
Yeah.
So surely we don't have to go back to scratch again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
We don't, and you can turn around quickly. That was Jack that just shelled out before,
Yeah,
but
for you,
people are
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that his
yeah.
body language is poor. He doesn't want to be at the club. That is rubbish. He spoke in the social club after the game and sounded pretty passionate from what I've heard. And then he turned up, JB, and was watching the VFL in the pouring rain the next day.
Yep.
So someone who doesn't want to be at a club doesn't do that.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I think everyone needs to take it. And I've got to say that Paddy Dangerfield was
said
on.
it better than anyone.
Paddy Dangerfield was on Talking Footy last night.
Yeah.
On 7 mate. He just spoke with common sense and just say, yes, Richmond's had a bad year, but you know what?
Yeah.
Everyone take a deep breath, right? Everyone's emotional because it's been a bad season and everything. Take a deep breath and assess where you're at and make decisions in the cold light of day,
and that's
rather
what
than
will
just
happen.
based on emotion and all that sort of thing.
And Danger, he's a star, isn't he?
He's
The
a
way
star.
he speaks. He
Star
speaks
on and
sense.
off the field, yeah.
So,
Anyway.
it's just
Yeah,
the
it does.
same.
It does really, really great, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Because we are just an easy target.
Just
We're
glad
an
they
easy
didn't
team.
have any body language experts analysing me over the Saturday during the game.
Or our supporters.
The body language of this man.
Oh, it's slumped,
I'll
isn't
tell
it?
you what, after his clanger in the Legends game, no wonder he's flat. Yes, it's that time. It's the VFL report time, and we welcome into the TT studio Brenton Manfred Mann, and that's a little bit of Led Zeppelin. Nobody's fault but mine, Tone.
Yeah.
And we know that what that's referring to, don't we?
Well, we do. We do. The Legends
Manfred's performance
Legends Cup game.
in the Legends Cup. He cost them the game with a howling clanger in the last 10 seconds of the
I've
game,
never
which
seen
coughed
anything
up an easy goal to the opposition, and you lost it for your team, Manfred.
I've never seen anything like it.
Literally slipped through my fingers, boys, and it wasn't my finest moment on the Hello Turf, but it crossed my mind, do I tackle young woman Felicity, but I didn't want to take her moment and tackle her in front
Oh,
of
is
her
that
kids
right?
and-
Really?
No, but that's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
No.
When you cross the
You
white
shouldn't have
line,
been in it. Yeah, that's right.
You
should have
dropped
been-
a mark,
That's
mate,
right.
10
I did.
metres out
I
from the
did.
opposition goal, and the young lady picked it up and snapped a
Yeah,
nice goal
yeah.
and won them the game.
Yeah, it was a mare. It was a definite
If-
mare, and I let out the groan as soon as it slipped through my fingers.
So before we get into the VFL, I will just throw to this grab from VFL coach Craig McRae about your performance.
And finally, who was your Caden player of the day?
Well, actually, I've seen some footage of you at the MCG in the Legends game, and I certainly won't be you. Some of your defending was horrendous. Bit of work to be done, and some of your ground balls and your fumbling. So I did hear you costing the game, but anyway, we'll move on. Yeah, it's true, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was true. It's a little bit embarrassing. They can do anything with vision. They can cut out the good stuff and really project the bad stuff. But
Not sure.
No.
Was there actually any good stuff? I'm not sure there was any good
It's
stuff.
gone the old reality TV that they've edited it.
Yeah.
he was quite damning in his assessment, wasn't he, Fly?
I think he was quite honest.
Yeah, he was quite honest.
honest in his
Definitely quite
appraisal,
honest.
yeah.
And I'll have to go back to the drawing board and go through the process and see what I can do next time.
Before we go on, I do have to thank
Yes.
you for your performance last week in filling in for myself. It
No
was
worries, JB.
outstanding. We did get an email through during the week from Nick Frawley, his name is. He's G'day, boys. Thought Manfred Mann did a superb job on his full debut, but you filled in earlier this year. So anyway, we'll leave that behind. But he goes on to say, I thought he showed enough to suggest he's playing above the level to warrant a regular call-up next year. So using a bit of flies lingo there, Manfred. So
Above the level.
Well, you
oh,
never
above
know.
the level.
I wasn't above the level on Saturday with that drop mark. Was I?
I'll tell you who was above the level, and that was the whole VFL team again.
Oh.
Another great win.
They certainly
5 on
were.
the trot.
5 on the trot and
Wow.
5 come from behind wins, Tone, which is a true test of their resilience. We found ourselves 21 points down in midway through the third quarter and got up by 9 points with a fantastic performance by the youngster Cale Kirby, who bagged 5 goals.
Tell us a bit about Cale Kirby.
Bendigo pioneer. He's
Yep.
kicked 32 goals from 13 games in a TAC Cup, a part of our Lagundas program, and has been training with us over the past month, I believe, and got his chance on Sunday and absolutely delivered.
Gee, we need small forwards that can kick goals, don't we?
We do. We've got one. We've obviously got the Rising
Oh,
Star.
we know
nomination
that,
this week.
but you need more than one.
Absolutely. Can we claim him, though?
We can't claim him. We must draft him, and
Really?
I'm
Okay.
guessing his performance on Sunday
Yeah,
might
well,
have bumped him up the
Would have
draft
been a few
board a
talent
little bit
scouts
more.
would have been there,
Yeah, there were quite a few there actually. A few from Port Adelaide I noticed, I got told about. So,
Yeah, right.
yes, hopefully we're hoping maybe to get him as a rookie spot. He might be jumping up the draft board, unfortunately.
And who else contributed on?
Anthony Miles was fantastic.
Yep.
Miles and Conker and Marich really provided the spark as well in the third term. Miles was to use a quote from Dimmer, the first pick in the trough. He was fantastic at with his contested work. Conker kicked 2 goals in the third quarter and showed his class. And Marich was by far and away the best ruckman on the ground for the day with 28 hit-outs, 40 disposals, and a goal.
Very good. Very good.
It was a pretty even performance on the weekend. It was a high-paced start. It was 11 goals collectively in the first quarter. We could only manage 1 goal in the second and fourth quarter, so it was a game of momentum, and we capitalised when we needed to.
What are we doing well at VFL level? Is it ball movement? Is it just consistency across the board? Pressure? What do you think the main attribute of these wins has been?
I think it's been our pressure and our resilience. Fly really projects a real level of calm across the group. Even when we are challenged, we're always a shot. Which has been evident in our past 5 wins. As I said, our pressure's been outstanding, and our ball movement when we needed to go quick and go green, as they call it, has been fantastic, and it's been a real testament to the side.
Now, what about a couple of the other young players? How did Marbior go?
Marbior probably played his best, most consistent game over the past month. He was fantastic down back, had 13 touches, and his real aerial contested work was fantastic. Really strong spoils on a very wet day. As the rain set in, we got better, which was fantastic.
Could he be some chance to debut?
It could be a very slight chance, maybe.
Okay.
The door might be just a little bit ajar. Yes, but the 2 boys who did debut last week went pretty well as well.
Yeah. What about my other boy?
You're going to go with it?
You're going to go? You got to go with it.
Daniel Butler.
Go with it. Just do it.
You're ready to. You're just waiting to get it out.
No.
Just do it.
Well, I had this thought during the week that if we were looking for another assistant coach, there's obviously speculation there might be a couple of changes. If we were to get John Blakey down, we'd have Blakey and Butler. I'll get you, Butler. We'd have the 2 of them. How good would that be? We've got to get John Blakey
better than
down.
your material.
Yeah, How did he go anyway, Dan Butler?
He had 11 disposals, kicked a goal, and his GPS numbers, Fly talked about, were through the roof, so his pressure and intensity was outstanding once again, and he's running on top of the ground.
So he could be a sneaky chance.
He could be a sneaky chance as well.
Yep.
But all in all, it was a pretty even performance.
Can I ask you one more? Corey Ellis, how did Corey go?
He took a little bit of time to get into the game, but his second half was very good.
He's missed a bit of footy.
Showed glimpses of his class in the wet.
So it's a pretty simple equation for us this week.
It is. We win, Essendon lose, and we make the finals, which will be fantastic and a testament to Fly and the coaching staff and everyone around the team.
And even if we don't, just a win and get 6 on the trot to finish the season would be a really good.
6 on the trot. It'll be our 9th for the year, and it'll be fantastic.
Would you say that we are in better nick than Essendon at the moment?
Yes, we are. We are in the top 3 form sides of the competition. It's us, Casey, and Collingwood, judging by the numbers. So we can't do any more but beat Coburg and hope Northern Blues do a solid and beat Essendon. Do we just trot down to Northern Blues and throw a couple of kegs their way or something like that, like in the olden days? And just hope they do us a favour, Tony.
That's a good idea. All right, I'll let you lead the charge there. That'd be good. So when are we playing Coburg?
It is Saturday, 12 p.m. Now, the interesting thing is Essendon and Northern Blues start at 11 a.m. So by the time we start, we may know if we're a decent shot at making the finals.
And here at Punt Road
Oval, 12 p.m. on Saturday.
Well,
get down and support.
Get down, absolutely.
Come down and watch. And
because the other games, the Sydney game's not on until 4:30.
Yeah, so plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope next week you're coming in to talk about a final coming up.
Let's hope so.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, boys.
Good on you, mate.
Go work on those hands.
Work.
Yeah, really work. Can you give me a couple of tips?
Mate, you just got to get the ball in your hands at all times. Even when you're just sitting on the couch at night, just roll it around.
Yeah, play with your ball.
Yeah.
Were you a Grippo fan?
A little bit of Grippo. And I'll tell you what, Tone, that's a good note to go out on. Thank you, Manfred. Well, Tone, if you have a deposit of $5,000 and you can save $15 a day, Caden can kickstart you into your own one-bedroom apartment. You can move out of home, mate.
Oh, I'm interested.
It's not just any apartment either. It's one with its own pool, gym and rooftop cinema. It's a place to call your own, just 6 Ks from the CBD, just up the road, with excellent transport options, great coffee and a new lifestyle. Kickstart all this with a call or visit Caden Displays in Abbotsford and Moonee Ponds. Get down there, Tone.
I will be getting down there. Don't worry about that.
Okay, conditions apply. So go online to cadenkickstart.com.au for all the details. Oh, it's time to give some votes out, Tone and JB.
Yep.
Do you want to go through the game?
No.
No, it's
No,
not
not at
much
all.
to go through.
Oh,
No.
Callum Moore and Todd Alton's first goals.
Yeah, good point. No, that's a good.
That
point.
was good.
I have to be honest, I didn't see much of the game.
You didn't miss much. Yeah, I can assure you.
What it was just what was it?
Diabolical.
Right, just mistakes from both teams.
Just
Yeah,
error-riddled game. One of the all-time
it's funny how you
shockers.
get games like that, isn't it? Where both teams just.
It wasn't a bad day. It was windy, but
Yeah.
well, it was all right.
Yeah.
It was just
But I guess you've got to say, and you're going to go through it in your yellow and black. But Todd Elton looked all right. He's been here 5 years, and we haven't seen much of him.
Wow.
But he looked pretty good.
I nailed it again.
Did you?
Let's just be
We're not
honest.
doing
Anyway,
the yellow
no,
and black.
but
We're
anyway.
just, from what you
No,
said.
he did. He went well. He went well. Really. Yeah.
Callum Moore, how
and
did
Callum
he
Moore
go?
showed a bit in the second. He had a pretty ordinary first half.
he
He didn't
did,
touch it, but he just got on his bike and he's certainly mobile and can take a grab. So he took a few grabs in the second half and kicked the goal late. So it was relatively pleasing. It certainly showed a bit of promise. Those two definitely. But apart from that, and Daniel Rioli, that's about it.
Yeah, it wasn't a
Fair
great
to
game.
say. Yeah.
Lock it in the vault and
Move on.
move on.
Who'd you give your votes to?
JB, go on.
I'll go first. I gave 1 to Nick Floston.
Yeah.
I gave 2 to Alex Rance and 3 to Daniel Rioli.
Yeah, I was similar. I go 1 to Nick Floston. I thought he was just really showed a lot of composure and in an otherwise error-riddled game, he was pretty good. I go 2 to Dusty. I know Dusty wasn't as good as he's been previously, and he made a few
Still had
mistakes. But
30.
he still had 30 and tried to take the game on, and covered a fair bit of meterage in there as well. And 3 to Daniel Rioli for all the reasons that we've discussed.
Okay, well, I gave 1 to Alex Rance, who's been in outstanding nick. I gave 2 to Dusty, had over 30, and as you said, tried to get the game going, and 3 to Daniel Rioli. So he was a categoric best on ground for Richmond on the weekend. So they were actually his first votes for the year, Daniel Rioli.
Yeah, which is great.
So really good way to end off for him,
Absolutely.
and that's why he's the Rising Star nomination this week. So I don't think Dusty can be caught, to be honest.
Now, your maths aren't your strong point. You've admitted that before. You sure?
Well, 103 he's on.
Yeah. So how many behind is Rance?
Rancy is, what's that, 34, 37 votes behind.
Very good.
Yeah.
He cannot catch him.
No. Okay.
So Martin on 103, Rance 66, Koch 56, Jack 31, and Milesy on 22. That is the top 5. Well, I'll go first today because I know you just want to gloat and
Galoot.
bask in your own
I do
glory.
want to galoot. You galoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
You love yourself. You absolutely love yourself.
Well, no one else does. So I have to.
Now, last week I said that Jack would kick 5 goals.
Yep.
He didn't.
No.
So I got that one wrong.
You
But,
pump ball.
it was a pretty obvious one because he normally kicks goals against St Kilda, doesn't he?
does. Yeah,
In fact, did we kick 5 goals as a team?
Yeah, we did.
no,
6.
6.
Right.
Yeah.
Too late.
So anyway, I said that Jack would kick 5. I got that wrong.
Yeah.
But this week I'm going, and you touched on it before, JB, about the battle between Rance and Franklin. I'm saying that Rancey will go up there to the SCG. Is it Saturday Twilight game?
Sure is.
Saturday
Yes.
Twilight. And I'm going to say that he'll keep Franklin to 2 goals, or even less, maybe 1, maybe 0.
And he's 150th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Buddy only kicks 2, I'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent.
That's good. Go on, JB.
Well, after my last yellow and black book inducing concussion, I'm
What did Manfred?
You got to play.
I'm just left with reading Manfred's one from last week, which was tie victory to kick 4 goals.
No. He couldn't have missed by any more.
He missed the mark there,
He
Manfred.
missed the target completely.
In fact, that may have been where his poor form started.
I reckon
He's
it's
yellow and black at last
No,
time.
that's very good point.
Because he would have then seen selection that
You know
night.
how often you finish a game that you start the game the way you finish?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's done.
You're right.
He's done that.
You're right. Well, this week I'm going to go for Jack Rewalt to go
Right.
up to the confines of
Wow.
the SCG and to kick
He needs
3 goals.
to kick
Greeners,
3 goals, doesn't
and that
he?
will, of course, give him
50 for the year for the 7th year running.
Correct.
So he needs to maintain that sequence.
Yep.
You should have yelled it out to him when he was yelling to you, Richo, before, because he
Yeah.
needs to kick the 3 goals.
I
So
reckon he will.
That's a good one.
I reckon
So
he'll
do I.
kick 3.
That's why it's my
Okay.
yellow and black book
I
special.
like that. Well, I don't really like to gloat because some of us are modest no matter how great we are, but I will gloat. absolutely nailed this, as I have done most weeks throughout the season.
No, you haven't.
I had a purple patch, and I was off for a couple of weeks, and I'm finishing the year full
if you looked through
of running like a steam train.
I think if you looked through the whole year, and I can do that because I've kept all our run sheets.
Yeah.
I think you'd find I'd be in front on the yellow and blackers.
I'm looking forward to that.
You've doctored them. Anyway, doesn't matter. Last week I went for Todd Elton to come into the side and have an impact. Now, it's fair to say...
He came into the side.
He came into the side. He had an impact.
Yep.
He took 7 marks, 4 contested marks, the most by any player on the ground. Kicked a goal and probably should have kicked 3. He dropped the mark that arguably Manfred mightn't have even dropped. Well, no, he would have. He would have dropped it. But he should have probably kicked 3. So he certainly had an impact, so I'm giving myself a massive tick for that.
Yeah, what you said there is impossible.
Well,
that Elton's mark was easier.
No, man.
I just wish our listeners could. Can we get it up online?
You know when JB,
I think it's part of the VFL report with Fly. So
JB, you know with your little son when you're teaching him how to throw, and you just gently throw a plastic ball to him, and he would take it in his little hands, wouldn't he? Probably he would.
I used to hang him from the, those jumping things.
Yeah. Well, you'd hang him
from the door frame and peg soccer balls.
Jolly jumper,
like the soft ones. And
what you taught him, Eddie?
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah,
the jolly jumper.
The jolly jumper. That's right.
So he could get he would be able to catch it, but Manfred
I wish
couldn't.
they'd make adult jolly jumpers. I'd love to have one of them at home. No, I would.
You are a jolly idiot. I know that.
Actually, on the subject of kids and
jolly jumper,
we just had an email through. At talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au. I've got to be very careful with this one because it's fraught with danger.
Who is it?
It's from Roxman, and he's said, I know we get listeners from all different locations telling us where they are, so he wants to add one to our list.
Yes.
Where is he?
He is currently listening right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put him in. It's just Roxman.
Yeah.
He's listening from the delivery room at Francis Perry. There's a future Tiger imminent.
Oh,
is that right?
So that is unbelievable.
Wow. Wow,
shout out to you, Roxman.
Just before your tidbits too, I just got another tweet here.
I actually haven't finished my yellow black booker.
Oh, right, do it.
For this week.
Sorry,
is that all right?
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Do it.
I am going for Anthony Miles to be recalled to the senior lineup because we were obviously well beaten in clearances, and that's where an area he excels in, to come in and get 25 disposals or more.
All right, good. I like that one. I think that may well happen.
Okay.
We've just got another one on #Talking Tigers. Sean Davies at ShawneeD33. And he has asked, and I don't know whether I can confirm this, but one of you guys can. He said, is Dion Prestia coming to Richmond? Has it been confirmed? He said, only Damien Barrett has said it. Well, he's requested to come to Richmond. The trade's got to be done.
That is our understanding. We have not been officially told that, so we are it's obviously a lot of speculation, but that's what we are assuming.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and there has been a lot of tweets and emails come through on that subject, and the great thing is we have an off-season Talking Tigers.
Exactly, we will be, and we'll be following all that, but he would be a pretty handy acquisition if he came here, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it would be quite good.
Yeah. You would think. Jeez, it's a good sting.
Hey, can you be reasonably quick with it today? I've got to get to this meeting.
Come on, mate. We'll be all right. I'll be as quick as I can. I'm just going with a combined set. Now, you know how throughout the course of the season for the website, JB, I do a combined team of whoever we're playing that week. So, okay. Now, of all the teams that I've done this for, no one has there been more traffic forwards and back than with South Melbourne or Sydney Swans.
Is that right?
Sydney Swans or South Melbourne.
Well, Mount should be in this
team.
team.
He is in the team, okay? Good. So there's more players that have played for these two clubs than any other Richmond combination of any other club.
So
here it is.
It
was hard to pick, but it is a very good side.
Yep.
I'll read the side out very quickly. From the back line, Mark Eustace, Darren Gasper, Daryl Sutton. Halfbacks, Francis Jackson, Robbie McGee and Gary Frangalis. The centres, Stewie Maxfield, John Patura and Wayne Walsh, who was the quiz question this week. The half-forwards, Robert Lamb, Stephen Torbett and Nick Daffy. Torbo. The forwards, Darryl Cumming, Eric Moore and Graham Teasdale. The rucks, the late Brian the Whale Roberts.
Had his wake here last week.
Yes. Your old man, Paul Richardson, ruck rover, and Clinton King is first rover. The interchange bench, Mitch Morton, Stuart Wigney, Alan McKellar and Tim Barling. So we have multiple premiership players.
Yeah. Did Alan McKellar play for the Swans?
Alan McKellar played about 1-2 games for the Swans as well.
That's right.
Yeah,
Nick Daffy played one.
Yeah, Daff played. Yeah. So you've got premiership players with Wayne Walsh, the Whale, Darryl Cumming, your old man, Mitch Morton. You got best and fairest winners. Robbie McGee was a dual premiership player. Best and fairest winners. So it's a pretty good side.
That's a good team.
It's a very, very good team.
Yeah, I like that team. Well done.
Scott. Tommy Derrick's he's a bit stiff.
Tommy Derrick.
Yeah, well, he dropped that mark against against the Gold Coast. Not even Manfred could have dropped it.
No.
Manfred would have dropped it.
That was a tough mark for Manfred. You know what Manfred proved on the weekend in that game? Sorry.
Well, that he's got no idea.
He's a complete spud, Manfred.
Righto. Did you hear about the ghost who practiced scaring people night after night?
Yeah.
Well, he was finally ready for his debut.
In fact, I think Manfred saw a ghost just before he attempted to take that mark.
I think he'd been on the spirits, I know that. That's probably why. Matty, how do you make a stupid person curious?
I don't know.
I'll tell you tomorrow. How did the pirate...
That's harsh.
That's a bit
How
nasty.
did the pirate become a boxing champion so quickly?
Well, how?
Well, no one can handle his left hook.
Oh, that's good, that one. I like it.
Why was there music coming out of the printer?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, because the paper was jamming again. Why did the man with one hand cross the road?
What?
To get to the second-hand shop.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No?
That's terrible.
What about... I should have checked this one off with Scholars.
Oh, hang on, don't.
No?
What?
Well, I went to a swingers party run by the Army the other night.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had to put my car keys in a bowl. I went to a Chinese restaurant the other night, a local Chinese restaurant. The lights were too bright. They were too bright, so the manager decided to dim some. One more. A man was arrested. I don't know if you saw this on the news last night. A bloke was arrested. A bloke was arrested for stealing helium balloons.
Yeah.
Balloons.
Yep.
The police held him at first, but then let him go.
Well, there you have it. That's another edition of Talking Tigers done.
Penultimate, that's it.
One thing we didn't mention, it was good to see
Emmett Dunn,
Big
Plod, come onto the board because he's a ripping bloke, Plod, and he knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
My word, he does.
Yeah,
that's a long career in the police force and a very, very good career here at Richmond as a player.
Good acquisition. Look forward to seeing any Richmond supporters up in Sydney at the weekend. Gee, it'd be good to beat the Swans twice in a year and muck up their final top two aspirations.
Johnny Patton might be there. When are they playing? GWS. He might be there.
No, they've got to play in Perth, I think.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. No. All right, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Well, we won't see you, but we'll talk to you.
Tune in.
We'll talk to you.